24th, 2026. Steve Moulton here with your update.
With the 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
That was Commissioner Roger Goodell, as Alabama now has 10 years of multiple first-round picks, with Caden Proctor being selected by the Miami Dolphins.
With the 31st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Keldrick Falk, defensive end, Auburn.
The Auburn Tigers have now had at least one player drafted in 23 consecutive years. In college baseball,
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Tonight's final score in Knoxville, Alabama 12 and Tennessee 8.
that's the final call from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. A doubleheader today. Pre-game coverage starts at 1:15.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you. So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here. That's what I'm talking about. Football Friday in the doghouse. A special Football Friday, but we will have football music for you throughout the show, regardless of season. That is one of my all-time favorite sports tunes, the original Monday Night Football music, and today is one of my all-time favorite shows of the year because we are coming to you live. You are looking live at Guntersville Lake. It's a little washed out, possibly behind me. I don't know what it looks like on your WZZN TV, but I am on the back porch, the back deck of Guntersville Tackle and Outdoors, GTO, at Goose Pond Colony on the shores of Lake Guntersville in Scottsboro. Is it Guntersville Lake or Lake Guntersville? I mean, some people say Lake Guntersville. Some people say Guntersville Lake. I know one thing. Every time I say it on radio or TV, somebody is correcting me. Every time I've said it, they jump in and correct me. Now, all I know is that across the way is Lake Guntersville State Park, but others insist it's Guntersville Lake. Is it Lake Wheeler? It's not Lake Pickwick. It's always Pickwick Lake. Who decides this stuff? Is it Wheeler Lake? Is it Lake Wheeler? It sounds better, Lake Wheeler. Guntersville Lake sounds right to me. Pickwick Lake. That's not Lake Pickwick. That sounds ridiculous. I grew up on Lake Ontario. It's not Ontario. Some people would say Ontario Lake. I always called it Lake Ontario. I don't know. All I know is that I love it. And all I know is that the Bassmaster Radio Phoenix ZXL is in the water, tied up about 50 yards behind me, waiting for me to get going for practice for tomorrow's Casting and Catching Charity Bass Tournament to benefit the Pediatric and Congenital Heart Center at Alabama Children's Hospital. $15,000 first prize, 200 boats in the tournament. It is the biggest charity fishing tournament in the country. 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville is a platinum sponsor of this event and the official radio partner for the tournament for some 6 or 7 years now. 6 or 7 years. This tournament has raised over $1.5 million in that time, raising a couple of $100,000 a year for a tournament that's only, I think, $115 entry fee because they have great sponsors. Zeus Logistics puts up the $15,000 first place. I mean, it's incredible. All of the money that is, for the entries goes directly to the charity, plus other monies as well that go to the charity. Now, I will be fishing with my son, Joe. We are boat 25 out of 200. I am also, once again, emceeing the weigh-in later with 2014 Bassmaster Classic winner and Elite Series pro Randy Howell. We'll be doing that tomorrow afternoon. That begins tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Everyone is invited to come down. It's not just for, they have a big tent, food, outdoor expo stuff, things for the kids to do, inflatables, things like that. There is scheduled to be some rain in the morning, but it should be gone by 9 or 10 o'clock, and it will be beautiful in the afternoon. 74 degrees. It's going to be a great afternoon for the weigh-in. Organizer Drew McNutt will swing by our set here at some point later on in hour number 2. Now, last year at this event, everybody's asking about, hey, you going to do it at Friday Fishing Report? Last year at this event, there were 47 bags over 20 pounds. This is a 5-fish tournament. 27 bags, or check that, 47 bags. Last year, 47 bags over 20 pounds. That's a 4-pound per fish average. That's just absolutely ridiculous. There was a couple of 30-pound bags. Look, I had 4 fish last year for 17 pounds, one short of a limit, and I finished 92nd in the event. It's ridiculous, but that's just the way it is. All right, round 1 of the NFL draft is in the books. We will try and react to as much of that as we can. Some interesting picks were made last night, starting with the Titans taking Carnell Tate at number 4. And Ty Simpson goes to the place I've been saying would be perfect for him. More on that in a minute. Coming up at the top of the second hour of the show, Kennington, Lloyd Smith of the AP in Tuscaloosa is back for another episode of Skinny Kenny and the Fat Man. We will get his thoughts on the contract extensions for Kalen DeBoer and Nate Oates, who head up the only 2 sports at the capstone that turn a profit. More on that later on in the show as well. Now, you won't believe what program, by the way, is the biggest cash suck for the university. Just an absolute cash suck for Alabama. I'll give you some of those numbers later on. Now, it's also Talladega weekend, and we are going to head to the track with Jordan Bianchi, who is their trackside. He is the motorsports writer for The Athletic, and he's coming up at the bottom of this hour. Now, I'm not sure if he's coming via video or audio only. It depends on what the internet is like there. So the guys will have to work on that, and they'll send him a text and ask him about that. In fact, John, if you have Jordan Bianchi's number, which you should, he's been on the show so many times, if you got his number, just shoot him a text and say video or audio. And if he says video, I have his email address here, and I will get that to you as well. But it is Talladega weekend. I love Talladega. It's my favorite track on the circuit. And it's coming up Sunday afternoon. I'll be watching that. All right, so lines are open. Feel free to jump in and contribute. 256-576-4977. By the way, Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage making it possible for us to be out here today. Great sponsorship from those guys. That is outstanding. We appreciate them. The number is good wherever and however you consume the show. 256-576-4977. And look, we got a text window for you as well. That's open. We'll read and react to those on the air. 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. And finally, you can watch the show as well on WZZN TV on the YouTube, the Facebook, or the X. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. You may or may not. I think you can find it there. But you also need to, check out the X page and the Facebook page of our flagship station at 97.7 ESPN, and check that out as well. You can get it. I don't have as much bandwidth, internet bandwidth. I'm on the shore of Lake, Guntersville Lake. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different when you're out here and you're outside and so on. So I don't have quite the bandwidth that I would normally have in this deal. All right, so just follow along the best you can. So how did you consume the draft? I mean, it was tough for me since I was also watching Yankees Red Sox. I wanted to watch Bruins and the Sabres, but I was recording the games. So I found myself watching the draft more than actually watching the games. Now, the Yankee game was in the 6th inning or so by the time the draft started. I was able to catch up with that a little bit later on during some commercial breaks. They break it loose. They get another win. They sweep the Red Sox in Boston. It's always a beautiful thing. Not so lucky for the Bruins as they got beat by Buffalo, and Buffalo takes a 2-1 lead in that deal. So, but I watched the draft. I checked it out on ESPN, where I love Mike Greenberg. But Louis Riddick and Booger McFarland drive me nuts. Louis Riddick sounds like he's been drinking Mountain Dew all day leading into the deal. Like he's streaming, like he's got coffee intravenously going into his veins. I mean, he's like hyperventilating. It's funny because I heard him this morning on a Dan Patrick show. He's very laid back, very casual, very good. But with Louis Riddick, every single player that's drafted is the perfect player in the perfect place, and they're going to the Hall of Fame. Booger McFarland, a little bit better, but it's still Mel Kiper. He sounded more hyper than ever. He was hyper Kiper more than ever. But they do have Adam Schefter. Shefty is a big plus. That is a big plus. Now, the NFL Network, I bounced over there. Rich Eisen, he's fine. It just, their whole crew feels like the B team. It really does. I know ESPN owns them now, the NFL Network. Their whole crew felt like the B team. I would imagine they were the lowest rated of the three. For me, ABC was the best. First of all, they come at it from the college angle. But I love Reese Davis. Reese Davis hosting is outstanding. Herbie is tremendous. I am a big Kirk Herbstreit fan. I know a lot of you people don't like Kirk Herbstreit. I love Herbie. I think he's outstanding. And the fact that he does NFL games now on Thursday nights with Al Michaels on Prime gives him even more juice to come at it from both a college and NFL view. And then there's Nick Saban. He is just outstanding from the coach's angle with all the coaching terminology. No, he flips his hips real good here, and you'll see him climb the pocket. I mean, I just love listening to Nick Saban. And I loved when Ryan Day came on their set after the Cowboys took Caleb Downs, which is a phenomenal pick for the Cowboys. He may be the best player taken in the draft. He may, at 5 years down the road, we'll look at it. Caleb Downs will be on a Hall of Fame trajectory. That may be the best pick of the draft. Caleb Downs to the Dallas Cowboys. So anyway, they get Ryan Day on the set. He sits down next to Nick Saban, and he gets asked about Caleb Downs. You know, his opinion of Caleb Downs, to which he says, well, he was a mess when we got him. I don't know what they teach down at Alabama. I mean, it was pretty funny. It was pretty good. All right, back at Mission Control. Playing the platters that matter, the stacks of wax, answering the phones, living large and in charge on a Friday. It's the prodigy, the grasshopper. It's Baby Abe.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last. He's got Abraham down.
Oh, what a catch! What a catch!
A leaping catch at the 45-yard lines, and he brings it in.
Thank you,
hey,
everybody.
How you doing, man?
What's up?
I got to get you out here one of these years for this show. This is just – were you ever out here before? I did. There's a parking spot right next to me here that's stone. I have backed the boat in there and actually done the show from the boat as well.
Yeah.
You remember that? I've actually done it from the boat.
Pretty sure I've seen pictures, videos of that, but I've been out there before. We stayed at, I think it was like a hotel or something at the top of a mountain that overlooked the lake. So it was a really cool core memory.
Gunnersville State Park. That's Lake Gunnersville State.
Yeah.
Is it Lake Gunnersville or Gunnersville Lake?
I don't
in your mind?
know.
What sounds better to you, Lake Gunnersville, Gunnersville Lake? Because I get slammed every time.
Lake Gunnersville sounds right to me. It just kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But, I was actually thinking about going up to Gunner's Landing and playing some golf today. I'm going to get some reps in as we get that church tournament that's coming up in a few weeks. So I'm not going to be going up there, sadly, but I will be going and playing some golf today and hoping that I can get a little bit better.
Where are you going?
I'm going near the airport here in Huntsville.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Sunset.
Well, that's a good place. That's a good place to go because it's wide open. You can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
What made you decide to go there? How do you even know about that place?
Well, I've heard about it from John, the roommate. But on top of that, I was going through every single course in the area. Kind of. I was thinking Cherokee Ridge, of course, but they're having a tournament today, so I'm not going to be able to go there.
Right.
Then I was thinking Gunner's Landing, and I was like, it's a little bit of a drive, but we do have a
Gunner's
deal
Landing.
on it.
You're not ready for Gunner's Landing either. Gunner's
Probably
Landing is a tough course. It's a very tough, very narrow course. You're not ready for Gunner's Landing.
Don't tell me what I'm not ready for at this point.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're not ready for Gunner's Landing.
I can handle it. I lose a few noodle balls. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, you lose some noodles.
And then
you lose your noodle, all right.
There were a few other courses that kind of went through my mind, and then I fell on to Sunset, and I was thinking that it would be a fun little time. Not going to break
Sunset's
the bank
good.
either, so.
Sunset's good. Now there is a place called Southern Gales. I think that's what it's called, but it's all the way. It's out in Athens. It's another one that's wide open. That's a good place to go if you're going to play like that. Cherokee Ridge would have been great, but I don't even know if your game's 100% ready for Cherokee Ridge.
Hey,
either.
now, when I was picking up the signs after our little tournament that we had presented by Eagle Insulation, I got to tell you, I did not have my stance correct. I think I finally got it. But I was hitting some drives on the back nine, and let me tell you, they were straight. They were in play. I probably, with a little bit more work, I think I could definitely play that course and have a lot of fun as well doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to play with you on May 2nd at the church event in Winchester. And then hopefully, I'm thinking Tuesday night, I'm going to try and get the Knuckle Dog and the Natural. And I'd like to get you if you I don't know if you can do that. All right, can you come up Tuesday? Like we could play Tuesday. Like it'd take me till after the meeting and things like that. Probably be back, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. I was wondering whether or not you could go to the Scenic and just play around, just so that we can kind of shake out the cobwebs.
I could definitely make that happen with the amount of hype that I have around golf right now, and I think all the practice is probably good for me. I went out to the driving range in South Parkway that opened up last year, and
let your roommate,
his
roommate's a teaching pro out at Cherokee Ridge, John Liggett. You spend a little time with your roommate. Let him help you. Get you in the right habits.
Will do.
Yeah. All right. Can I talk to Hollywood for a second? Because he did something last night that just blew my mind, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. So if you were out and about yesterday, Hollywood Hogan was tweeting each and every pick at 97.7 ESPN on the Twitter page for our flagship station at 97.7 ESPN. And I just want to congratulate him on that. I thought he did a phenomenal job doing that. And Hollywood, are you telling me there was something like 25,000 people that interacted with that or saw that or got the impressions of that? Is that what it was?
We had about 25,000 total across all 32 posts for the draft.
That's amazing. Now, were those posts on Facebook too or just on a Twitter?
So they were just on Twitter, and then this morning John put the collection of all of those photos to the Facebook as like an update of the first round of the draft.
So were you who did the images? Did you do the images and everything, that whole thing with the image and that skin and all that stuff, or was this a collaborative effort between you and Grasshopper?
So I created the graphic, and then John took a second look at it and made some edits to it, and then I basically made like the top 10 of how I thought the top 10 would go. So I already had a handful of them ready, just had to tweak a couple things depending on if the team changed that was drafting them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's a good job by you. That's fantastic work by you, and it's good that you ran it by John. John is our social media director, so it's good that he got a chance to take a look at that. But I think you did a tremendous job. I really, really appreciate your effort because nobody asked you to do this. You just went and did it on your own, and I thought that was really, really cool. And you're a draft Nick, right? I mean, would it be fair to say that you're a bit of a draft Nick? You love this stuff.
Oh yeah. The NFL draft is probably my favorite NFL event every single season. I enjoy it more than I enjoy watching like a Super Bowl even.
What was your thought when you saw the Titans at 4 take Carnell Tate?
I had them taking Jordan Tyson, so I did expect them to take a receiver. I really don't think it's a shocker that they would go receiver, even though they do have a decent wide receiver room. Yeah, I'd give it like a B+, maybe an A-. I still would have taken Tyson over him, but I get the injury concerns.
Yeah, I think that if Jeremiah Love doesn't go 3 to the Cardinals, they're taking Jeremiah Love. I think that was plan B, was to take a receiver that they liked. My only concern about Carnell Tate is he wasn't the number one receiver on his own team. You know, they've got one of the best receivers they got maybe the best receiver, probably the best receiver in all of college football in Jeremiah Smith. He's not. Carnell Tate wasn't the best receiver on his own team. He wasn't a number one, and now they're going to ask him to be a number one.
Well, they did just sign Wan'Dale Robinson, though. I could see him still being a 2.
He's a 2-2. They got 3 2s right now. With Calvin Ridley and the kid from the Giants and
Jamari DK.
Yeah, and they just drafted. Yeah, I mean, it feels like. Well, we'll see. They needed parts for the offense for sure. That was it. And then, of course, Ty Simpson. You look at Ty Simpson going to the Rams. This is exactly what I was hoping for Ty Simpson, is that he would go to the Rams because he can go there. He can sit behind, Matt Stafford, and he can be ready to go when it's time for him to take over in a couple of years. And, and being with Sean McVay, it's the perfect offense for him. It's the perfect place for him. Thank you, Stetson Bennett, for your time. Stetson Bennett was never going to work out. He was never going to be an NFL quarterback. He was, he was a phenom at Georgia, but I never thought Stetson Bennett was going to be an NFL quarterback. He had emotional problems and everything else. He'll be gone. And Jimmy Garoppolo, who's the backup there, is talking about retiring. Ty Simpson is going to have an opportunity. I think Ty Simpson has a chance to have a better career than Fernando Mendoza. I really do. Because of where he is. I think he has an opportunity 5-6 years from now for us to look back and say, you know what, Ty Simpson was the better quarterback.
Yeah, and they absolutely love him. I mean, I saw the pick of Ty Simpson got leaked before the Dolphins had even made their pick before the Rams.
Yeah.
So they love their guy. They knew who they were going to take. And if they have as much confidence in him that he has in himself, I could see him succeeding.
How are you posting them? You said you had them about a minute before they were made public on TV. How are you getting that info?
So there's a couple people on Twitter who usually will get the pick or hear that information before it's on the TV.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure which accounts they are. If I knew, I would credit them.
Yeah.
But usually if I saw a guy, like, for instance, when Ruben Bain went, I saw Ruben Bain's name pop up like 5 times that they were going to be selecting him. So I went ahead and made the graphic and exported it in about a minute, and then would go ahead and post it. And it was accurate through the whole night. There was not a miss.
Well, they went to 8 minutes between picks, and I thought, oh, this is going to be really good. It did shave about 20 minutes off of the show. But when they went to 8 minutes before picks, I thought that this was going to be lock and load. I mean, that they were going to get this thing done in 2 hours. And what ended up happening, the pick is in. It was so frustrating. If you're watching on TV, it would say the pick is in, and then they go to a 4-minute commercial break.
Yeah.
It's like the next team, the pick is in already. They go, let's go. Give us the pick. Let's go on this thing. And, it was a little bit slow. All right. Anyway, good job by you, Brody. I appreciate your work there. I want to give you a little love on that deal. All right, we're going to get a break in here. When we come back, we're going to Talladega with Jordan Bianchi. He'll set it up for us next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfer's elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Introducing The Golfist, Huntsville's newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue. Play over 2,000 courses with state-of-the-art simulator technology, perfect for golfers of all skill levels. For a limited time, grab an unlimited membership for just $99 a month. Or book with our grand opening pricing. It's the best value in Huntsville. Check us out at thegolfist.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley as we head into Friday evening. That activity is going to become more widespread as we head into the overnight early Saturday morning. Much of Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon are going to be relatively quiet. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s each day.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by USSSA Softball. If you're looking for a great tournament to put your team in, your high school level softball team in, you need to check out alfastpitch.uSSSA.com and find out where the best tournaments are. Anywhere throughout North Alabama, they've got great tournaments. Go ahead and check it out. alfastpitch.uSSSA.com. That's alfastpitch.uSSSA.com. Yeah, welcome back. Thom Abraham Show. Live from the shores of Guntersville Lake here on the back deck at GTO Goose Pond Colony. It is the Casting and Catching charity tournament. It's the largest fishing charity tournament in the country. There'll be 200 boats here tomorrow. I will be fishing in it. I will be emceeing the weigh-in as well with Randy Howell. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, everybody is invited to come out and partake in that. This tournament raises over $200,000 a year now, and it is absolutely a tremendous, tremendous thing. What's also tremendous is Talladega. We love Talladega. We're joined by Jordan Bianchi. He is the motorsports writer for The Athletic. He is at the track, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jordan, welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Always fun being at Talladega. It's a special place, and you know what you're going to get when you come here, so it should be a fun weekend.
It's always good racing there. I got to tell you this, too. I don't know why I was watching YouTube videos, and because of my viewing habits, they keep popping in. NASCAR ones pop in quite a bit. Dale Earnhardt ones pop in quite a bit, and Talladega pops in quite a bit. It's my favorite track anywhere. So anyway, it pops up, and it's showing qualifying. This is qualifying. This is early 90s. This is after Dale's passing, but early 90s, early 2000s. Early 2000s, post Dale Earnhardt passing. And it's qualifying, and it's before the reconfiguration of the track, and it's like packed. I mean, it's like just the very edges of the wings of the front stretch were open. There had to be, and again, the back stretch wasn't open, but there had to be 70,000 people there for qualifying. I mean, it was absolutely stunning to see.
Yeah, you go back and you watch those videos, and I've watched a lot of old races and stuff, and you look at the grandstands, and you're like, wow. I mean, the number of people it's remarkable. And you wonder, what is the pathway back for NASCAR to get there? And, I think they're doing a lot of good things right now to get there. But, just to think back in the day, I mean, almost, routinely, just about not every race, but a majority of the races, it seemed like had 100,000 people almost.
I remember wanting to go to Bristol when I first got to the Tennessee Valley in 2004. Well, it was actually probably when I ended up in Nashville in 2007, and I wanted to go to Bristol. And unless I pulled a credential, you had to be. It was like going to a Green Bay Packer game. You had to be willed tickets to go to at Bristol. I mean, it was 160,000 people at the time. Every day it would be absolutely packed. They never advertised or anything. I still get a chuckle when I hear some of the tracks advertising on the radio. Now Dega will end up being sold out. It always ends up being sold out. But like at Bristol, to hear commercials for Bristol, it's like, what do you mean commercials? I mean, you can't get in that place with a shoehorn. And, of course, that's changed as well. And I'll be honest with you, the racing doesn't suck. It's not – I don't think it's the racing. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's the racing. What do you think?
You raised a good point, and I'm kind of with you on this. Like, the racing has actually been pretty good this year. I'm not saying it's spectacular every week, but it's never in the history of NASCAR, it's never been spectacular every single week. But there's more to it than that. And if you could look at what is it that NASCAR needs to kind of get back to that spot, like I couldn't tell you one thing. I could tell you a bunch of different things, and I think it's those things all together that would make a difference. But there's also some things you just can't manufacture. Like you can't, if you don't have a driver who transforms his sport and is like a superstar beyond NASCAR, a Gordon, an Earnhardt, a Dale Jr. type, like you're going to be kind of limited on what you can do. And right now, NASCAR doesn't have that next level driver who is doing things outside of the NASCAR bubble where people are like, oh, I know who that is. Who people don't even know NASCAR knew who Jeff Gordon was. They knew who Dale Earnhardt was. Is there a NASCAR driver right now that you could feel confident could be hosting Saturday Night Live or could host like a daytime talk show like Carl Edwards did? Like the answer is probably no. And I think that would go a long way. But the racing itself, I think right now is actually very, very good for the most part.
Yeah, I think for the most part the racing is good. Now it's back-ended quite a bit, and they've tried to do things, of course, with the stage racing, and we'll see what happens now that the points thing has changed. The thing is, you got Tyler Reddick, who is doing stuff that hasn't been done in a long, long time. I think I saw since 1984 or something like that. Guy wins 5 of the first 9 races. I think it was Dale Earnhardt that did that the last time it was done. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But he's won 5 of the first 9 races. And I'll be honest with you, if he came walking here on the back porch of GTO and walked by me, nobody would know who he was. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even know who he is. But, I mean, it's what he's doing is incredible.
What he's doing is remarkable. Like, and Tyler Reddick is a generational talent. Like, he is incredibly gifted driver who can win on any type of track, and his car control and everything else is just sensational. And the fact that he rides for Michael Jordan's team should help him become a household name. And we have this conversation, and these are conversations I've had a lot lately with a lot of people, is like, you would think that Michael Jordan's team having this kind of success in winning the Daytona 500 and winning the manner they are and all of these, spectacular fashion would resonate. And it just doesn't feel like it's resonating at that level yet. But your point is like, right. I mean, Reddick should be somebody like people are starting to see and like, oh, that's the guy who drives for Michael Jordan's team. That's the guy who's winning all the time. And right now it just doesn't feel like it's kind of hitting on that.
No, it doesn't. But the racing will be good, if at Talladega. There's no doubt about it. So preview it for us a little bit. This is always a race. Multiple guys have their only win. I remember when Bobby Hillen won there. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
There's a
Bill
name
Parsons.
from the past. Yeah. You've got a number of guys that the only race they ever won was Talladega. But it is you don't know what's going to happen there. The pack racing, we have seen some incredible stuff where guys will come through the pack in the last few laps and things like that. So it's a really tough race to handicap. But if we're going to handicap it, if you're picking some guys that are going to be at the front, give me those names.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you come to one of these tracks, like the Penske drivers, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Austin Cindric always come to mind. The Team Penske Fords are always fast here. They have great teamwork. They do a really good job of putting themselves in position. Now, listen, do they win all the races? No. But these races are about putting yourself in position and capitalizing when you can. Austin Cindric won here a year ago. Ryan Blaney won at Daytona last August. So, like, they do a good job of putting themselves in spots and then getting, good finishes when they can. They're going to be competitive. We know that. And then the Toyotas, maybe they don't have the same speed as the Fords do. They do a really good job of working together, and the Toyota strategy is always at the forefront. And this is going to be a little bit of a strategy race on Sunday because NASCAR's kind of tinkered with the stages a little bit, and there's always the question about fuel mileage and how do you save fuel and fuel strategy and that kind of thing. And the Toyota group does a really good job of devising different game plans around that. And so how they come out and what they do on Sunday is going to be fascinating to watch. And then also, when you come here, like you said, you do have the upsets. Like you have guys who, maybe other tracks people were paying attention to, but when you look at like a Front Row Motorsports, for example, they are always good in these races. And their three drivers, Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, all had top 10 finishes here last year in the Talladega races, and they're going to be in the mix. So I feel like I could name like 30-some names, but those are just some of the names I would spotlight because I think those are the teams and the organizations that you're going to be hearing a lot about on Sunday.
One of the things when we talk about the popularity of the past, when you see some of those old videos and stuff, these guys came to it later. They were 29, 30 when they were rookies, and they raced a little bit longer. But when you see Cal Yarborough or Bobby Ellison or Dale Earnhardt or David Pearson, they were like men. You know what I mean? They were like cowboys. They were like a guy you wanted to be. You know what I mean? It was like that kind of thing. And the young guys, you don't even know if they shave yet. And they don't give you that same feeling. Now, because I feel like, of course, there's Reddick. There's no doubt about it. And running for Michael Jordan should be bringing in, a whole new batch of people. And I'm not talking about just African-American. I'm talking about just fans that know the name Michael Jordan and they know that he's doing this. The problem is Michael Jordan is also connected with Denny Hamlin, who is not one of the most popular drivers out there. A lot of people don't like Denny Hamlin, me included, but that's a whole other story. But Carson Hocevar, he's one that I look at, and I know he's been a loose cannon and all that stuff. They hated Dale Earnhardt at the beginning when they called him Ironhead and everything else. I felt like Ross Chastain. I felt like there were some guys that were in that space, right, that could be kind of guys that would develop into heroes,
Yeah, you mentioned Ross Chastain, and there was a window there, it felt like 2022, 2023, where Ross Chastain was on the cusp of really breaking through. He's blue collar watermelon farmer from South Florida, fighter, scrappy, that kind of thing, not aggressive on the racetrack. It checks a lot of boxes, right? Checks a lot of boxes, and it just didn't happen for various reasons. And the machinations behind the scenes are, how that all, kind of maybe put a lid on Chastain a little bit is like bewildering, because it's like he could have been maybe the guy. You mentioned Carson Hocevar, and I think Hocevar's got potential here. And that, for all the reasons you mentioned, right? He's aggressive. He's not afraid to speak his mind and all these things. And the other thing that Hocevar has going for him that I think really helps him is he's with a team, Inspire Motorsports, that allows him to be himself. They do not try to put a lid on him. They do not try to, censor him. Like, they want him to be himself. They want him to be his authentic self. And if he's going to go and say goofy things or say things that make people mad, then so be it. And if he's going to go on the racetrack and be aggressive, then so be it. They've got his back. They're going to stand behind him. You need that, because part of the problem is the corporate culture of this sport, with all of the sponsorship involved, is a lot of these sponsors don't want their drivers doing these things. They don't want them, and that's unfortunate, because that's the ethos of NASCAR. Like, that's what made NASCAR so good, is you had that. But when, like, Dale Earnhardt was coming on and becoming Dale Earnhardt, he had Wrangler in his car, right? That was a perfect, and they loved it. They embraced it, That was who that's our guy, one tough customer. Like, he's going to wear our Wrangler products, and he's our guy, and he's a manly man kind of thing, and he's going to go for it. And then he went to the, Goodwrench, Man in Black. They loved it as well. But you need that sponsorship behind you to embrace it. And Hocevar is in that situation with his team and with his backers that is going to allow him to do it. Now, the thing he has to do, and he's really close to doing this, is he has to actually get a win. He's close. Yeah. He's in his third year now. It's going to happen at some point, but it's got to have to happen, and it has to keep happening regularly for him to become a thing.
I can't tell you who his sponsor is. I mean, he's been running that 77 car for a while. Yeah. It's not the greatest number in the world to be running, but we've seen the 88 have success, certainly starting with Michael Waltrip and ending with Dale Earnhardt, and, and it's being run again now. But I can't tell you right now who Carson Hocevar is sponsored by. I can tell you Joey Logano with the Shell car. I can tell you, some of the other ones, but and that's part of it, maybe that relationship they have, with that particular brand, and I think you're right about that. Jordan Bianchi with us here. I also saw the numbers from Bristol, and people were looking at the TV ratings, and it had just under 2 million people that watched the race, and how 10 years ago it had 7 million plus. Now the Daytona 500 had 7 million plus each of the last 2 years, which was an increase. They had slipped a little bit from there, and then they had kind of started climbing again. And it drives me nuts, though, when people want to point to Dale's death, that's when it ended. That's when it changed. That race, the 2013 Bristol race that had almost 8 million viewers is 12 years after Dale passed. I mean, I don't, and we loved Harvick, and we loved Tony Stewart, and there were dudes that were out there that you wanted to pull for and stuff. So I don't think it's that either. It's something subtle, something buried in there. I don't know if it was young people we lost. I don't know what happened, but it's one of the great mysteries in all of sports that how this has happened.
I mean, it's a combination of, like I said, so many different factors. It's not just one thing, but there are so many different factors involved. But you mentioned it kind of is that you did have a generation of drivers that did kind of age out, and they went away. You had Dale, you had Tony, you had Jeff, you had Carl, you had Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane. Like, you had guys who were like fan favorites, like not just fan
Carl
favorites,
Edwards,
but like, overwhelming fan favorites, and they were gone, and their fans didn't really find someone else to latch onto, and that's part of it. And again, there's a lot of different things about this, and there's the debate about races should be on cable versus network TV, and people's viewing habits have changed, and there's just so many different things. But it's something that is certainly hitting NASCAR right now, and it's something they're going to have to figure out, because if you look at other sports, I mean, not even just the NFL. We know the NFL is the NFL, but look at other sports, Major League Baseball, NBA, college basketball this year. They're seeing success. They're seeing ratings increase. They're seeing more fan involvement. NASCAR is just kind of there. And what is it going to be for NASCAR to join that group and also be on an upward trajectory?
Yeah, and it's not the car either in terms of the image of the car, because the car's as cool as ever. I mean, Camaros, Mustangs. I'm loving the fact that Dodge will be coming back, with their beautiful car. I'm not a Camry guy, but even that car, but if you go back, and again, the Lumina was an ugly car. The Ford Taurus was an ugly car. It's like you're driving mom's car. I mean, are you kidding me with the Ford Taurus? Those were bad-looking cars, and yet, so it's not the car. Now, I will say this. Put the dang numbers back on the door, okay? I mean, just put the numbers back on the door. It's a subtle thing, but it drives me nuts. I know there's been some talk about it, where people have asked that question. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I'm a numbers on the door kind of guy.
I mean, there are fans out there who say it. Like, they want that back there. And is that going to change everything? I don't know. But, I mean, NASCAR is trying to get back to its roots. Like, they have this Hell Yeah campaign, and they changed the championship format this year. They did all these things. And, that, they're getting back to kind of the things that they were kind of known for. And other people are there is a contingent of fans who are looking at it and go, well, you're saying you're all these things. Why can't we get the numbers on the doors? I don't know if that makes a difference in the grand scheme of things. I think there's bigger issues to look at and focus on, and then let's focus on that. But then if that's something that is going to be done, then so be it. But the teams will tell you, like, they like it the way it is just because it allows them to go sell sponsorship. But I don't know. I'm all for anything that is anything that will help NASCAR kind of go upward. I am in for it. If that's numbers on the side of the car or, more on the door than the front, then so be it.
80,000 is what it seats. They still is the Talladega infield scene still what it has been in the past. I mean, that's also legendary. Yeah.
There's things at the Talladega Boulevard you are going to see that you're never going to forget. Yes, it is still a thing.
They got the music going and everything else, everybody milling about and all that kind of good stuff. It's always been a big part of it, and it'll be sold out, right? I mean, they'll have it. We're not going to see empty seats at Dega, I wouldn't think.
I don't know the ticket numbers. We'll see. I'm curious to see what it is, and I think it's going to be a good barometer to kind of see it for all the things we're kind of talking about, of kind of a good barometer of the health of the sport and where things need to go from here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And Sunday afternoon, look, I know the NBA and the NHL playoffs are going on. That stuff has always happened. That's always been out there. I get it. But the NFL draft will be over on Saturday. I'm looking forward to this being a good number. I know it's my number one thing for Sunday afternoon to sit back, chill out, and watch. So, hopefully it'll draw a big number. Jordan Bianchi has been our guest. Continue the great work, Jordan. We appreciate you so much, and we'll look forward to chatting again.
Look forward to it, my friend. We'll talk down the road. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jordan Bianchi. Look, maybe I'm part of the problem, too. I mean, we used to have Jordan on weekly. Now, it was when I had a 3 or a 4 hour show, I think. But we used to have Jordan on during race season. We'd have Jordan on every week. Every week. All right, we'll get a break. We will come back. We'll open up the phone lines. You want to jump on board, you can do it. Kennington Lloyd Smith is standing by for top of the hour. Skinny Kenny and the Fat Man. We're going to do NFL draft with him. We're also going to talk about the contract extensions for Kalen DeBoer and Nate Oates. If you want to get in, though, you can do it now. 256-5764-97.7. The wind has picked up dramatically here at Gunnersville, in Scottsboro. And when I first got here, it was calm and flat out there, and the wind has picked up, which is actually good for the fishing, but making me want to turn around and look and make sure that the boat is doing okay. I'm going to have to go down there and check that. All right, we'll be back with more right after this Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com. NASCAR racing this weekend at the Talladega Superspeedway. Tomorrow, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Ag Pro 300 with Austin Hill plus 350, the favorite. Jesse Love plus 450. Justin Allgaier 8-1. Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, the 10-1 co-favorites with the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. William Byron 11-1. Tyler Reddick 12-1. Kyle Larson 14-1. Major League Baseball today. The Braves at home, $1.36 favorite against the Phillies, who have dropped 9 straight games. Auburn laying $1.88 at home with Oklahoma. And Alabama plus 105 underdogs at the Tennessee Volunteers. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
We have been selling printer supplies for 50 years. Today, we've made it easier than ever to make sure our customers get the best price and the best support.
You can order supplies online with our guaranteed low prices, saving 40% and getting our award-winning on-site service for free.
There's no catch. Ask any of our customers. We want to be more than just a vendor. We want to be a partner in your success.
Wheelchairs for Warriors serves those who served us. We provide custom-fit wheelchairs for veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. When they are denied the services they deserve, we stand in the gap. To join the mission and support America's heroes, you can visit our website at wheelchairsforwarriors.org. We are a 501c3 organization and part of the combined federal campaign. Visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Hey, this is Bob Baumhauer here to let you know that something's cooking. Many of y'all know me as that crazy jock that brought Buffalo-style chicken wings to Alabama way back when. Turns out we were way ahead of the curve and things changed. Now I'm here to tell you that you're in for another surprise. As a guy who played for Coach Bryant and Don Shula, you got to know it's going to be a winner. Stay tuned and visit us at Baumhauers.com or become a fan on Facebook. You never know who's going to get some free tickets.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by my good friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance. You know, I've known Mike for over 20 years, and no one knows the appliance business better than Mike. And he's always there to help support whatever we are doing on the show. And they've got all the major brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, Speed Queen, and more. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs, where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality prices, quality service. Owen Home Appliance. Welcome back, Tom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us. We had a couple of calls early that I did not get to. John, are either one of those guys still there?
Yes, they are both there.
Oh, my gosh, you're kidding me. All right, let me get to him. 49 minutes on hold. Natty Danny joins us now. Natty Danny, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, brother? You doing okay?
I am fantastic.
Nice. I got my earbuds in. Ginger bought me some earbuds, man.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm getting up there, Tom. Give me some time. I'll learn all this stuff. But, hey, good day today, Tom. Both vehicles got oil change, tire rotation, and then, of course, I always put a little bit of Lucas gas treatment in the tank. Well, I'll tell you what, if I ever sell my cars, people listening on the radio, I'll let Tom know. My cars are so good right now, Tom. I run them, I run them really good. I take good care of them. And these cars last forever. I got the Mustang GT that's got over 200,000. Well, it's like a top.
Don't get rid of that. Don't get rid of that.
Well, I found out that thing, even with that mileage, is close to $10,000.
What? Really?
Yeah, that's right. You heard me. They're going. It's a Fox body. Everybody wants a Fox body. It's going for $7,000 to $10,000 with that many miles, Tom.
Wow.
Anyways, that's not why I called. Real quickly, let's talk about the draft. First off, Tigers won. I took the series against the Brewheads. Sorry, Larry. And then let's talk about the draft. You know what time it is, Tom? It's Miller time. That's right. 6'7", 350 pounds. Sewell, from what I hear, is leaving. When Decker's gone now, he's going to replace Decker on that side, and then bring in the beast at 6'7", 350. They say this line is almost good, if not better, than the line they had the 1 year where they were beating people like a drum.
Yeah, well, they needed to definitely shore that up. But Blake Miller out of Clemson, it's a good pick. It's a fairly safe pick, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with Penny Sewell.
Okay, well, so in my closing, hook 'em, Tom. I want to see you have like a 40-pound bag of fish, okay?
Yeah.
Got to win this thing, Tom. Come on. And
that would be nice.
Listen, there's always room for me and the boys, so when you need another guy, you got to call us. We'll come play. I want to see how John's doing. And, John, you can only play Cherokee Ridge if you can beat my score. Right now, I shot an 89 the other day. So
he's not ready for that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's not quite ready for it.
I'll take that on.
All right, hour number one is in the.
See you guys.
Appreciate it, Dan. Hour number one is in the hopper. I'm going to go try and move the wind is kicked up, and I don't like where I got the boat tied up. So I'm going to go try and move the boat. We'll see if I can do it in 5 minutes. Come back with Skinny Kenny and the Fat Man next, right here in the Tom Abraham Show.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It is Friday, April the 24th, 2026. Steve Moulton here with your update.
With the 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
That was Commissioner Roger Goodell, as Alabama now has 10 years of multiple first-round picks, with Caden Proctor being selected by the Miami Dolphins.
With the 31st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Keldrick Falk, defensive end, Auburn.
The Auburn Tigers have now had at least one player drafted in 23 consecutive years. In college baseball,
and the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Tonight's final score in Knoxville, Alabama 12 and Tennessee 8.
That's the final call from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. A doubleheader today. Pre-game coverage starts at 1:15.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back into the Thom Abraham Show. This is John Abraham, as Thom had to go and tend to his boat. And we're going to be keeping an eye on him to where he joins us back here in just a second. But we'd like to welcome in our new listeners up in Nashville. And now Thom is back, and he is at his rightful spot.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. It is Football Friday. In the doghouse, we are coming to you. Of course, we'll have football music throughout the show. I'm all winded now. We are coming to you from one of my favorite places on the entire planet, which is Gunnersville Tackling Outdoors at Goose Pond Colony on the shores of Lake Gunnersville, which some insist is Gunnersville Lake. I don't know how you say it, but I always said Lake Gunnersville. Anyway, the reason we are here at is that the 97.7 ESPN, our flagship station in Huntsville, is a platinum sponsor of this event, which is, of course, the annual Casting and Catching Charity Bass Tournament to benefit the Pediatric and Congenital Heart Center at Alabama Children's Hospital. Now, Here's the deal. My boat, the Bassmaster Radio Phoenix ZXL, was parked out on the end of the dock. When I parked it out there this morning, there was no wind. Well, now a wind has come up. It's like 25-mile-an-hour wind. And it was getting blown all over the place, and I was getting a little nervous. So I pulled it off of the end of the dock and into the little harbor area in the shallow water where I could put the shallow water anchor down and tie it off there, and hopefully we'll be okay. And I did that in 4 minutes, and now I'm absolutely winded. Kennington Lloyd Smith of the AP in Tuscaloosa joins us now. Another episode of Skinny Kenny and the Fat Man, and he is on the, there you go, Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and on WZZN TV as well. Kenny, welcome in. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Winded. I mean, I'm shot here, running down there to the dock and getting my boat tied off here. But I'll tell you, doing this show on the shores of Gunnersville Lake in Scottsboro at GTO, on the back patio of GTO, it is just absolutely a rip. I mean, I love doing the show here. This is one of my favorite places anywhere. So on a gorgeous day like this is a great place to be, that's for sure. Let's start with Kalen DeBoer and Nate Oates getting the extensions. I don't think anybody would have argued with Nate Oates. I think some people were looking at Kalen DeBoer and said, really, do you need to do this right now? But one of the things I noted about the Kalen DeBoer extension is the relatively low buyout. This is not $53 million like Brian Kelly. This is not $49 million like James Franklin, or $70 million, like Jimbo Fisher. It's $10 million after year one, then it goes down to $8 million and then down to $6 million. So it seems like, he's the third highest paid coach in college football now. But on the other hand, the buyout doesn't seem that bad if, in fact, something goes drastically wrong.
Yeah, the thing about DeBoer is I think fans are forgetting that this extension was birthed out of the Michigan interest from like several months ago, where, Greg Byrne and DeBoer, they kind of had this like handshake agreement, coy thing in the media, like, oh yeah, well, there's something that's gonna be done down the line at some point. And then, they get blown out by Indiana and everything happens and, things start to go awry and the transfer portal stuff. And you just kind of, forgot that this was already in play. And it just kind of got announced at this moment. So them just kind of looping it in with the Nate Oates thing, I think kind of, recreated something that had already been hashed out. So I think that's something for fans to remember is, this is something that was in the works and had kind of been done for a while now. And at the end of the day, for the fans that are kind of wringing their hands about why DeBoer needed an extension and et cetera. I mean, he did win a playoff game. Alabama did make the SEC championship. They won 11 games. He did everything that the fans wanted him to do, right? They wanted him to compete for an SEC championship. He did. The game didn't go great. They wanted him to go to the playoffs. He won a playoff game. That's more than what Kirby Smart's done. And I don't think any fans, are up in arms about how much he's getting paid. Georgia hasn't won a playoff game in 3 years. Kalen DeBoer won one this past year. So, not everything is perfect within, Alabama's football program, obviously. But I think, for DeBoer to get a little bit of a raised extension is somewhat earned. Nate Oates getting an extension, I don't think anybody is up in arms about that. He's doing an incredible job with the basketball program. And we're talking about head coach combinations, basketball, football. Alabama's got to have the best in the SEC, right?
I would think the best in the SEC, and it's hard to find a better one in all of college sports, to be quite honest with you. DeBoer goes to $12.5 million, which, as I said, is third. And it puts him just a little bit, like $250,000 behind Ryan Day, and puts him about $1 million and change behind Kirby Smart. So there is nothing wrong with that. And yes, 20-8 in 2 years. The expectation after 17 years, see, there's this faction of young fans that all they know is the 17 years of Nick Saban. They were little babies when Nick Saban took over, and this is, they think that you're supposed to win 6 national championships in 10 years. Doesn't happen that way normally. Getting to the playoff is a tough thing in and of itself. And I'll say the same thing that I said to Tennessee fans years ago when they decided they had to get rid of Philip Fulmer, and they went into the dark ages for 15 years. And other coaches we've seen is, ask Auburn fan if they'd take Gus Malzahn and his 9 or 10 wins a year every year again. Be careful what you ask for. These guys are very, very competitive. And, I don't know where the pain threshold is. I feel like they're a 10-win team again next year. which is a playoff team. 9-3, you're not firing them. 8-4, people are ticked off. It would have to come. The wheels would have to come off. 7-5, something like that, for it to get really bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think most Bama fans are kind of falling in line with what it is now in college athletics. I think there's some lunatic fringe out there that are still like, Saban would have never allowed this, that, and the third, and et cetera, et cetera. And look what DeBoer inherited. I just think there's some context that's needed in terms of, what he inherited, what he's done with the program. Like, if anybody's noticed in the last 2 years, the Saban guys have not been killing it at Alabama. Just being honest, like, the best players on the team are the ones that DeBoer either brought from Washington or the freshmen that he brought in and developed, or the ones that Saban recruited, but he never coached and DeBoer developed. The guys that kind of are Saban holdovers, for the most part, haven't been great, except for, like Bray Hubbard, Tim Keenan. The rest have been kind of like okay to, average. None of them have really just been like amazing. So, I think DeBoer, in terms of like his development and like what he's done with the program, the players he's brought in, has done well. Again, we'll see what happens this year. I think they'll be a playoff contender. I think their like real like leap year is probably going to be in 2027 when you're in the second year of like a starting quarterback, and a lot of these young guys are kind of like in their upperclassmen years. But I think, for the most part, that the program's in a relatively healthy place. And I think that this extension, I think, for the most part, is going to kind of like put an end to kind of like the national noise where every time Kalen DeBoer loses the game, they're trying to put him on a hot board list.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of like where this extension does the most good for Alabama.
He's got some great wins, there's no doubt. The bugaboo is, the one thing that kind of annoys people a little bit, is the losses. When they lose, they get hammered. I mean, it's like these horrific losses. They don't have these. Even Nick Saban, getting beat at LSU and getting beat at at Tennessee. Yes, a lot of penalties, all that kind of stuff. But it took a last second or an overtime or some crazy thing to beat them. With DeBoer, it seems like when they miss, they get destroyed. And that's the part I think that bothers some people, to see them being embarrassed by Indiana or getting upset by Oklahoma last year, 2 years ago, or Florida State and things like that. It's like the losses are really ugly.
Yeah, that's like the one thing that I was saying. Like, I'm saying some nice things about killing DeBoer right now. It doesn't mean everything is perfect. I think that's what you just said is the thing here. The biggest problem with Kalen DeBoer's Alabama is like we have no idea what their floor is. We know what their ceiling is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, do we know what their ceiling is, which is like, they've dominated Georgia a couple times in stretches and beaten them, and again winning playoff games and that streak of ranked wins last year. But like, what are they week in and week out? We really have no idea. It's like a different team every week. And sometimes that means that you can beat Georgia and beat a whole bunch of ranked teams in a row. And then sometimes that means that you're going to lose to a terrible Florida State and, Vanderbilt, and have these stinkers against Oklahoma and get blown out in the playoffs. So just trying to find some consistency is probably the next thing for DeBoer in like figuring out what he is at Alabama. So I think that's a fair criticism. Is just like the highs are like, they're not Saban level highs because Saban's win national championships, but like the highs make you feel like you're watching like vintage Alabama, but the lows are so low.
Yeah.
So kind of what can they be week in and week out is probably the biggest question as a team and as a program that Alabama has to answer this year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Kennington, Lloyd Smith, our guest here. The other part of it is this buyout. I mentioned it. It's very palpable. If it did go really bad, it's a $10 million buyout after this year, and then it goes down to $8 million and then to $6 million. The flip side of that is that's the same the other way, right? I mean, if and look, make no bones about it. We got a lot of Michigan fans that listen to this show and everything, and that's great, and I like to kind of bust their stones. Kyle Whittingham was not their first choice. He was not their first choice. They wanted Kalen DeBoer, all right? That's who they wanted to bring up there. So the question then becomes, that buyout is a two-way thing, right? So he can leave, say in 2 years, he can leave for $8 million. That's the flip side of when you don't put a big buyout in there. The guy can leave and pay a relatively small amount to go take $100 million from somebody else if it were to come to that, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the interest in DeBoer, I don't think is going to stop anytime soon, especially if he's keeping
No.
Alabama in like a relevant place. And I think that's kind of another thing that people have to kind of like contextualize and like answer for the whole like why would Alabama do this and that, and Kevin DeBoer hasn't done much and Alabama losing all these games. It's like, why does every other school want him then?
Yeah.
If he's so, if he's so bad and he's so this and he's so that, he's so underachieving, like why is it that every time there's a head coaching vacancy, these other media outlets can't like wait to put him number one at the top of everybody's list? He's a sought after commodity. Not only for what his program highs can do, but like again, his player development. We saw it last night in the NFL draft. Ty Simpson, who was not great under Saban, let's be honest here, right? We saw him play under Saban, and DeBoer, came in, developed him, took a couple years. He's a top 15 pick of the draft. Caden Proctor, another one, played 1 year under Saban. DeBoer kind of took over that development. Top 12, whatever pick. Next year, they're going to have multiple first-round picks with Ryan Williams and Xavier Brown, two guys that Kalen DeBoer has exclusively coached. So the talent development is there. Again, the winning is there to a degree, maybe not, at the highest level that Alabama fans want. But again, 20 wins in 2 years, been to the playoffs, the first ever road playoff win in college football history. So he's doing some good things, and he's going to continue to be a sought-after commodity. So I think this is going to be an interesting to watch over the next couple of years, is like how many teams continuously try to keep tabs on that situation and how long is he ultimately going to be the coach at Alabama.
Well, I want to see how many of his recruits end up being high draft picks, because Alabama's had this incredible run, of first-round picks, and that's now 9 years in a row or 10 years in a row, something like that, where Alabama has a first-round pick, and which is the most in college football. And it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of days how many more guys go. But are there Kalen DeBoer guys that are going to end up being going? Because Nick Saban was quick to take credit for when Caleb Downs and Caden Proctor and Ty Simpson went back to back to back. He was quick to mention that those were all guys that he recruited to Alabama. So it will be interesting to see how the DeBoer talent starts going out when that time comes. Did we lose Kenny there?
I'll work to get him back.
Okay, yeah, let's get him back in there, because that's going to be the question, is how those guys go. The other thing I don't know, and Kenny wrote the article for the AP about the salaries, is I don't know what Nate Oates' buyout is, because the pressure point for Nate Oates is when Tom Izzo leaves. He's a Tom Izzo guy, and that's his neck of the woods as well. And, he's passed on a lot of gigs. So the question is, what will he do when Tom Izzo leaves and there is pressure on him or questions about him going to Michigan State? Michigan State has a national championship under Tom Izzo. Michigan State's done a lot of, you would say that Michigan State has a, better history than does Alabama in college basketball. So the question then is, what would that take? What does that look like? Because I can't believe Tom Izzo at 71, something like that. I can't believe that it will be, that there's that much time left on the Tom Izzo meter. He says he's in great shape and he's got no reason to leave. But even if it's 2 or 3 years down the road, you wonder what it would be there. Kenny is back with us now. Kenny, I was just talking about the Nate Oates buyout. I don't know. I didn't see in your article about that. What is the Nate Oates buyout? Because the pressure point there seems to be when Tom Izzo leaves Michigan State. That's one that I think a lot of people have Nate Oates potentially ticketed for.
Yeah, I think off the top of my head, I think it's around 12-ish million, and then it kind of goes down year after year. So I think it's like a little bit higher than what it was on his last extension. But I think the big point for him, at least, was to just get up in like higher salary and kind of like set the precedent that he is a top 5 highest paid coach. I believe he's fourth now behind Dan Hurley, Bill Self, and John Calipari.
Correct.
And he's doing a lot more with a lot less than those guys got in terms of like just like roster talent and like NIL investment and those things. So all well deserved on that end, and that will be something interesting to watch. I've always thought in my mind that Nate Oates' next job is probably going to be in the NBA, but if Michigan State were to come calling, that would be probably a near impossible proposition to turn down, like getting a chance to go back to home state.
Yeah, and it's interesting. He's actually making more than Tom Izzo now at this particular point in time. Basketball team did make money. We're looking at the revenue figures from the 24-25 fiscal breakdown, and the basketball team brought in $24.5 million. They made over $9 million in profit. The football team with $147 million in revenue and expenses of $82 million, so they made $64 million, and everybody else lost money. I mean, it's really crazy to see, but everybody else lost at least $1 million, and you wonder at what particular point in time, you know, this is that thing. Now that it's becoming a business and you're going to have to pay athletes more and everything else, you just wonder about how you can continue, you know, to fund all of these sports when you only make money in two sports and they got to pay for everybody else.
Yeah. And that's like the kind of thing where it's like, you know, these figures are important because you think about like the initial headline of Christy Curry leaving Alabama for South Florida is like really jarring until you realize that Alabama lost more money in women's basketball than any other sport on campus, I believe, and also puts in the least amount of money of any women's basketball program in the SEC. It's like, imagine like you are shopping yourself around to other radio stations and they're like, not only do we spend the least, we also make the least. When can you start?
Yeah.
Like, you're not really, it's like, you're not really selling me. So, but in my conversations with Greg Byrne, cutting sports is not on the table for him. And, you know, obviously things can change, but at the last time we spoke about this, he said it costs about $200,000 a year per student athlete to have the Alabama experience, and they don't like shortchange like the Olympic sports. Like everybody gets the same training tables and like same resources, the medical and all those things. So it's expensive, and it's going to continue to grow, I would bet, with inflation and things like that. But cutting sports isn't on the table, at least at Alabama. Maybe it is for other schools. So I think that'll be something to watch as we go on. Is like how much more expensive is it going to be to fund the life of a student athlete at a school like Alabama and other SEC schools, and what's going to be the effects of that. But for now, at least for Alabama, the thought of like cutting sports and like cutting back has not been hashed out yet.
The women's basketball team cost $5.4 million. $5.4 million is what the women's basketball team cost. They brought in $764,000 in revenue. They were minus, the women's basketball team lost $4.669 million. They are the most expensive program in terms of loss. They bring in the least amount for the amount of money that they spent of any program in the entire university. And to put that in perspective, again, the women brought in $764,000. The men's basketball team brought in $24.5 million. So for all of this chatter about, you know, equality and women's sports and they want the same facilities and they want the same money in their tournament and everything else, the women's team brings in $764,000 while the men's team brings in $24.5 million. And that's something. Now, the other one that surprised me a little bit was baseball. Baseball is the second most losingest deal. Baseball cost $6.6 million and only brought in $2.2 million. So not as bad. I mean, they did bring in $2.2 million compared to women's basketball, $764,000. I don't know what the source is to make more money in baseball. I love college baseball. Good job by the Tide last night, beating Tennessee. But you know, they lost $4.4 million in baseball, and I don't know, making it to Omaha, hosting regionals, I don't know where the money comes in because it's certainly not coming in, you know, it necessarily from, you know, going to a game at the stadium.
Yeah. I think like, because I'd imagine with revenue, like TV will probably be a part of this equation. College baseball is just like not a very popular sport for whatever reason. It's just like, it's like college basketball, college football, like baseball, basketball, football is like the traditional big three sports, and like college football, college basketball, like always on national TV in the regular season. The combines and the lead up are like huge deals. Draft, national TV, huge deal. Baseball is just like not like that for whatever reason. So I don't know what the fix is there. Would encourage fans to continue to go out. I'm just surprised at the lack of revenue, especially like Alabama women's basketball, who has perennially had like a really good team. I think 5 of the last 6 years they've been to the second round of the tournament. The support is not there. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We talk about doing less with more. I mean, who's doing less with more at Alabama than Chrissy Curry? Like, least amount of money, and 5 out of the last 6 years they've been to the second round of the NCAA tournament. So her moving on isn't that surprising, but I don't really know what the fixes are there. Best of luck to the new women's basketball coach is going to have to come in and kind of like build off of that with, as we know, not a lot of resources. Baseball is still trying to kind of like figure things out. It looks like they have a really good team this year, probably host a regional, and that will help the revenue as well. But again, I just think these are things we're going to have to kind of keep tabs on and kind of see what creative ways Alabama can figure out to like drive the revenue up in these sports. Because like you said, it's a business, and at some point, if these losses continue to incur, then there might be some tough decisions to be made.
Yeah, and I mean, think about how good softball has been over the years. I mean, softball has always been really, really good, and yet softball also is a pretty big loser. They bring in $1.3 million, cost $3.8 million, so they lost $2.5 million on that list. Women's tennis, women's and men's tennis, women's and men's golf don't do too bad. They don't cost a lot apparently, and they don't bring a ton of revenue in. Men's golf brings in almost $2 million, costs $3.3 million, but losing $1 million to $1.5 million seems to be okay. And I got to be honest with you, I cannot figure out what this is, and I'm going to be embarrassed when you say it. What the heck is men's S&D and women's S&D? What am I missing here? What's S&D?
Swimming and diving.
Swimming and diving. Oh, gosh, why didn't I think of swimming and diving? My daughter was a diver. I'm sitting here, what does S&D mean? So they're kind of in the middle of the pack as well. All right, before I let you go, Kennington Lloyd Smith, our guest, AP in Tuscaloosa, couldn't go to a better place, right? For Ty Simpson, I know some people are questioning the Rams because they're so close to winning it all. They're the favorite to win the Super Bowl. You'd think they'd want to get somebody that can help immediately. But for Ty Simpson's sake, for him to go to the Rams and be able to be behind Matt Stafford for a couple of years and develop with Sean McVay and that offense and so on, you could not have handpicked a better spot for that kid to go. Even though he went at 13, you couldn't pick the better spot, right?
Right, especially because, you think about his other potential landing spots. People are talking about Arizona, who is horrible, maybe the worst team in the league, even though
they'd have to play.
Overall. The Jets, also in contention for the worst team in the league, and then the Steelers, who are just like an offensive disaster perennially. And then he ends up with probably the smartest offensive football coach in the world, and a team that's going to continuously invest in offensive talent and has the scheme and all of that. So, awesome fit for Ty Simpson. Once, like you said, you can kind of question, pick their team. Probably could have got an impact player that can help them. But they did trade their other first-round pick for Trent McDuffie, the corner from Kansas City. So, in a way, they did kind of spend a first-round pick on an impact guy.
Sure.
And this one is more of like a long-term projection. So maybe you can kind of do the, mental gymnastics that way and kind of spin it in a different way. But good pick for Ty Simpson. We'll see what happens with the Rams, but I think the Rams are kind of telling the world, look, next year supposed to be a big quarterback draft. We like this guy this year. Didn't have to trade anything for him. He kind of fell to us. We're going to take him and then let y'all have the quarterback melee next year. So we'll see if it's a smart pick. But for Ty Simpson, I mean, what an awesome situation for him. And then you think about the fact that he could have entered the transfer portal and got $6 million from Miami, and now he's going to get $30 million from the Rams with guarantees and signing bonuses and all that. Not a bad deal.
Right. And by the way, the guy that's going to cost his job is going to be Stetson Bennett, your boy from Georgia. And I never felt like he was going to be an NFL quarterback. And it'll be interesting to see whether they keep him in there as the third, if in fact we see Jimmy Garoppolo retire like he's been threatening to.
Right, exactly. So, again, you needed some insurance for Jimmy Garoppolo. God bless Stetson Bennett, but he's had some, some issues and situations. So if we had to step away from football, so you need some insurance anyway at the quarterback position. So,
right.
It is kind of one of those things where competition is always pertinent in the NFL. So you bring in Ty Simpson, he can kind of push the room forward and, like you said, develop. And if he can be anything like what he was in the first half of the year, then we might be looking back at pick 13 a couple years from now with an absolute steal. And another feather in the cap for DeBoer. Came in first 2 years at Alabama, top 100 pick in Jalen Milroe, and now he comes back with a top 15 pick in Ty Simpson. So that's something that he's going to be able to sell on the recruiting trail as he continues to develop quarterbacks. And guy Michael Penix the year before.
Yeah.
So
right. Penix was like 9. Yeah.
Right. 3 top 100 quarterbacks in a row. 2 in the top 15 of the first round. Another one in the top 100 who just won a Super Bowl. So, Kalen DeBoer, quarterback developer, I'm sure is selling well in high school living rooms across the country.
No doubt about it. Appreciate you, as always, doing a tremendous job. Is our guy, Kennington Lloyd Smith, there in Tuscaloosa. Kenny, I appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend.
All right, for sure. You too. Thank you.
All right, we are going to grab a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Drew McNutt. He's one that helps put this whole show together out here at Lake Guntersville, and then also Jason Simpson. He's dragged him over here with him as well, and we're going to find out whether or not this rain's going to hold off in the morning, because I really don't want to have to get wet in the first couple of hours of the tournament tomorrow, so hopefully he can do something about that. We'll be back. More right here from the Thom Abraham Show next.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
NASCAR racing this weekend at the Talladega Superspeedway. Tomorrow, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Ag Pro 300 with Austin Hill plus 350, the favorite. Jesse Love plus 450. Justin Allgaier 8-1. Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, the 10-1 co-favorites from the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. William Byron 11-1. Tyler Reddick 12-1. Kyle Larson 14-1. Major League Baseball today. The Braves at home, $1.36 favorite against the Phillies, who have dropped 9 straight games. Auburn laying $1.88 at home with Oklahoma, and Alabama plus 105 underdogs at the Tennessee Volunteers. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you're craving a juicy, made-to-order burger with all your favorite toppings, it's time to head to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Fresh, never-frozen, hand-formed patties, crispy, fresh-cut fries, savory hot dogs, and topped off with an ice-cold real milkshake. Five Guys knows what you like. Come and get it in Huntsville on North Parkway and on Enterprise, and in Madison on Moonshot Drive and Highway 72. Order online at fiveguys.com or just walk in. Five Guys. Perfection every time.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188. Just remember, we're here to help, whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete. We're here to help.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley as we head into Friday evening. That activity is going to become more widespread as we head into the overnight early Saturday morning. Much of Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon are going to be relatively quiet. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s each day.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by the Docs at TOC. You know, I'm always talking about these people that I've known and trusted in the Tennessee Valley for over 20 years. Well, my buddy Thom Perkins and the Docs at TOC certainly fit that description. And when my own family has needed an orthopedic specialist, TOC was the only call to make. There is a reason why almost all the schools in the region use TOC, because they are trusted and they provide the kind of care people need. TOC is the orthopedic center. It's right there in the name, and they're right there when you need them. And welcome back, Tom Abraham Show. One of my favorite shows of the year is the one that we do here on the back deck at GTO Scottsboro. And I have been here, by the way, for numerous iterations of this building and what they have done here. This is the best it's ever been. I'll be totally honest with you. Now, I haven't had the burger yet. I got to see if the cheeseburger is as good as it always was in the past. I did have a biscuit here, and that was great. But the reason we are out here is for the Casting and Catching event. It, of course, does a tremendous job for the Alabama Children's Hospital and the congenital and heart defect and congenital department, and has raised over $2.5 million, I believe, now at this particular point in time, raising over $200,000 a year. It seems like now. Drew McNutt is one of the guys that's behind this whole thing, and he joins us not as he does every year. Drew, welcome in, man. How are you?
I'm great, Tom. It's great to see you back. It's always an exciting time of the year. It's like it takes forever to get here, and it goes by quickly, unfortunately. But we're ready for another great year.
Is this 8? 9?
11.
11?
11.
11. Mm-hmm. Wow. I think it's 8 or 9 or 7 or 8 for us as a platinum sponsor and for us being out here and stuff. And by the way, this GTO here at Goose Pond, they have done a phenomenal job with it here.
They have. Paul and Jana Ponder, they have been nothing but great. They've supported us the whole way, and since they've been here in this location, and they're just great folks. They have a full stop shop, whatever you need, and just come down here and check them out. It's a great location.
The only thing I didn't see in there was any mag draft swim baits.
Is that the magic bait?
Well, I'm
giving
sure,
it away, right?
I've got one left, and I'm short a couple, and yeah, I was kind of hoping to have a mag drive swim bait. I ordered some from Tackle Warehouse, but they haven't made it in yet, so they weren't at the on the porch yet. So we'll have to worry about that then. But another sold out event. It's amazing how quickly, how many people come back to fish this thing. And, of course, you have a relationship with BASS, and, you've always been able to use their weigh-in trailer, the same weigh-in trailer that they use at the Opens and so on. I'll be honest with you, I was shocked when it pulled up today because I don't know how many they got. Because they got tournaments going on everywhere. They got college and youth and all kinds of stuff going on. There's an Open going. There's a Bass Nation. We weigh in on that trailer in the Bass Nation. So how did you get a trailer out of this deal?
Well, I got nervous because Chris Bowes, the last time I talked to him, or it's been several months ago, and he said, I just about had to call you and tell you that we were way thin. He said, but we worked it out. So huge credit to Chris and Chase Anderson, CEO at Bass and owner, and just those guys. They've been behind us for every single year. And all this started years ago when we had somebody locked in to use the stage, and then they backed out, and then Bass stepped up. So they've been truly a huge part of how our tournament runs and what keeps people coming back each year. And we just thank Chris and all the guys that that come here for our tournament.
Yeah, and of course, your uncle Bruce Aiken used to be the CEO at Bass, and it's really cool to have. I mean, me, I'm a nobody, but it's great to have Randy Howell assisting with the weigh-in. He and I once again will MC the weigh-in. 2014 Classic winner right here. Came back to Bass and had a great event going this past tournament at the Arkansas River, and then spun a hub on Championship Sunday. He would have been fourth or fifth. It would have been huge for him points-wise. Could not get back in. Ended up, zeroing, and it cost him dearly. And it's too bad for Randy.
Well, if anybody knows Randy, he's going to bounce back. He's looked at the positive side, and it's really hard to look at the positive side of that, I'm sure, for him, knowing him well. And but he will. He'll bounce back. He'll find a way. He's just glad to see him back at Bass. I've had that conversation with him multiple times, and we're just very excited that he's part of it. And Robin will be here as well tonight for the Anglers Dinner, and they're 1,000, behind us 1,000%. Great friends of ours, and very fortunate to have everybody with Bass involved.
I think I said $2.5 million, $1.5 million raised so far, over $1.5 million raised so far, but. It's the biggest, I've been saying, it's the biggest charity bass fishing tournament in the country. And part of the reason is you have such great sponsors, and it's the same sponsors every year. So they don't leave. And Zeus Logistics helping out with the grand prize and so on. So, you're able to push a lot of money to the charity.
Yeah. Well, just the angler payout is $45,000 cash. $30,000 through registration, $15,000 grand prize sponsors, so 45 total, plus that doesn't even count our prizes that we will give out on top of that. So we cannot say enough about Captain D's, Robbie Copenhaver, what he's meant to us, what he's done for us, and he's been with us from day one through the whole process. And Harbin Automotive here in Scottsboro with the Ford and the Chevrolet, and the impact they've made with us as presenting sponsors, and Zeus Logistics is grand prize, and we have our live leaderboard weigh-in sponsor, Scottsboro Weight Loss, with us this year that has stepped up tremendously, and Redstone Government Consultant, it's still our Kids Fun Zone sponsor, and Taylor Manufacturing, who's our Blast-Off sponsor. And, I mean, every year it just continues to grow, and that's just a huge testament to our community, to the area around here. And people believing in our mission and passion. And we can say that 100% of the sponsorship money goes directly to the Pediatric Congenital Heart Center at Children's. That's what makes the most impact.
The next step would be probably going to a Fins and Skins deal, right? You could have a Friday golf tournament over here at Goose Pond, and then Saturday, have the fishing tournament, and then raise even more money. But you do a tremendous job with it. You've told the story before, but there are listeners that are new. Why Pediatric and Congenital Heart Center of Alabama?
Well, all four of our families that are involved, the Simpsons, the Strouds, the Bradfords, and our family, all had children, all had sons born with congenital heart disease. And none of us had any history in our family, anything like that would have pointed toward this. And some, we found out prenatally. Some had to be rushed to Children's once they were born. But the men and women, the doctors, surgeons, nurses, everybody from custodial staff at Children's made a huge impact on us. And literally when Lee Bradford, we were sitting in the fourth floor in the lobby, Andrew had a heart cath, Tucker was having an open heart surgery. He's like, we got to do something for them. And we was continually just going back and forth on what to do. And let's do a fishing tournament. And so from there, it just continued to take off. And then with the Simpsons and the Strouds, and we all have the same mission and the same passion, in which is pump as much money into our facility at Children's in Birmingham and making sure that we can make a difference. And it already has made a huge difference, as we will get close to $2 million this year with over $250,000 for the first time. And so we're constantly we know that congenital heart disease is grossly underfunded, and more diseases are talked about than CHD. But when you talk about the impact, it's 1 in 100. It's the most common birth defect in the entire world. So, there's still a long way to go, but we really have a lot of momentum right now with trying to find, cure. Hopefully one day there is a cure for it. But the way that we have basically increased the research with our money that has been donated there, and it's gone worldwide at this point. Dr. Borsino, the head of the CVICU, basically when the money goes to there, it's his brains that put together what needs to be done, and they've been doing that for 11 years now, and we know that there are hundreds, possibly thousands of kids around the world that are alive because of the research that's been done with this tournament.
That's incredible. Did any of you guys know each other when this went down to the families?
Well, so Lee and Jessica Bradford and myself grew up together here in Scottsboro. My wife Jody actually worked at the TV station ABC 3340 with Jason when he was doing weather there. And then Heather Stroud was a sorority sister with my wife Jody in Tuscaloosa. So we knew each other without knowing each other in a roundabout way, which is really, really, it's a God thing.
It is a God thing. I was going to say, it's amazing the way God brought those people together, to be able to do this. All right, let me talk to Jason Simpson.
He's the man of the hour. He's got the weather update.
He is key. I mean, it's always great to have a weather guy when it comes to a fishing tournament that involved in the deal, and Jason is just that for this tournament. Before that, now where are you at now? 13?
WVTM 13, yeah.
Down there in Birmingham, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're down there in Birmingham. And did you ever expect that this thing would blow up like this? When you guys said fishing tournament, you're sitting there and you're talking, did you ever think that it would come to something that raises $250,000 a year and all that kind of deal?
Well, considering the original goal was only $10,000, no, none of us had an idea that it would do this. But this was amazing. And, the brain power behind this is Drew and Lee. And we like to fall in line behind them and just follow their vision because they have been phenomenal all these years.
Now, we know that Drew is a fisherman, all right? He's been a fisherman all his life. You can tell by his tan. You see how nice and tan he is, like me.
Yeah.
We're out there on the water a lot, so you can tell that he's a fisherman and he's fished here a long time. What about you? Were you into fishing at all, or
I can
say,
catch
"Hey, let's do a golf tournament"?
I'm really good catching sticks and things like that. No, I didn't grow up around the lake. I'm from Brindley Mountain, from Holly Pond in Coleman County, and we did pond fishing. I can catch a mean catfish.
Yeah.
But my expertise is in other areas like weather and promotions and things like that. So you were talking with Drew about how we've all worked together and how God brought us all together. It's a bunch of different talents, too, from the Strouds. They have Heather's working for a consulting company in Huntsville. Justin's a computer programmer. He does all of the website and all of the back-end things for the scoring of the tournament. Of course, Drew and Lee are incredible, not only anglers, but men who understand their community and reach out and work in this community in Northeast Alabama. And I think that the biggest thing that most people would not realize about the amount of money that's raised here, the vast majority of it comes from Jackson County.
Yeah.
A huge majority of it comes from right here in Jackson County. We're not knocking down the high rollers in Birmingham and Montgomery and Mobile for a statewide tournament. This is a Northeast Alabama thing, and it should be a huge point of pride for people around here.
Yeah, and it is. We're on in Nashville as well, so folks are listening up there. But you get people who fish the tournament from all over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could fill a 200 boat tournament. You can't swing a dead cat and not have 200 boat tournaments every weekend here at Guntersville. And you could easily fill it from the neighborhoods around here. But having said that, people come from all over to fish this thing. It's just become that deal. It gets on your calendar, and it's really kind of cool to see the boats, with their tags on them, and you see where they're from.
Yeah, well, and we try to treat you right. You come here, you fish this tournament. We're going to try to give
Feels
you
big time.
Well, that's
I've fished opens.
Yeah.
I've fished Bass Nation stuff, and we're using the same trailer and all of that. And you got the first-rate MCs, from what I understand, for the weigh-in.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, for the first 30 minutes you have a C-lister, and then you get.
I'll try and
A-lister.
get in early. Hopefully, I'll be needing like one more 4-pounder to actually win a rod or something. I had 17 pounds. Now I only had 4 keepers last year, so but even if I had gotten to 20, there were 47 20-pound bags last year in this tournament. This lake is in great shape. I don't know if it was last year that we had the 30-pound bags. We had we had 2 30-pound bags last year. I mean, the lake is in tremendous shape. I felt good, but 17 pounds with 4 fish, one more like that, and I'd have had a 20-pound bag, and I'd have walked out of here with a gift certificate to McDonald's or so. I don't know where I would have. Captain D's. I'd have been going to Captain D's.
You come away with something.
I come away with something.
Yeah. And, as you're kidding about being a C-lister doing the weigh-in, I have learned a lot about how big those bags look coming in.
Yeah.
I've started being able to judge them myself a bit after following you guys, so it's been neat to learn from the master here.
Well, I do the EQs for Bassmaster. I weigh in. I'm the MC. I'm the Dave Mercer of the EQs, which are the 3 tournaments in the fall that determine who's going to go into the elites. So, I have a lot of fun doing it, but I don't have a guy like Randy Howell with me.
No.
I mean, that's cool. It's always great to see Randy as well. All right, so I put the boat in the water at 9. It was flat calm. I mean, it was flat calm, which is not, the saying for fishermen is wind is your friend. A little too much wind, not so much your friend. I mean, that flag is blowing pretty good. I mean, right now, I try to gauge the wind based on what the flags look like. It looks like a 25-mile-an-hour wind right now, the way that flag is straightened out.
You're using the Beaufort wind scale, Tom. That's perfect. That's exactly how you do it. When the flag is out, it's about 20 to 25.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a southwest wind. We've got that big fetch all the way from the Guntersville Airport up here to Goose Pond. Wind's going to turn around tomorrow. We've got this line of storms that will likely pass south of Scottsboro and Guntersville. Really, I think the whole lake will get a little bit of rain tonight.
Right.
We're talking minor amounts, fractional inch. Unfortunately, I do think you're going to need your slicker in the morning.
In the morning.
You have to let the Gorton's fishermen.
Now, you say storms.
Today.
One thing, rain. I've
Rain.
been using my app, and my app says rain. I'm not seeing storms. That's the thing that will keep us at the dock. They'll let us go, if it's just raining. I don't know that we'll have – I know he likes to send us at 5:30. I don't know that we'll have light at 5:30 if it's a heavy, cloud cover.
A decent drizzle and some clouds for sure at 5:30, if not just a gentle light rain. But with the storms passing to the south, I think we're going to get out on time.
Yeah.
And with the storms passing to the south, we get what's called a cold pool behind it, which means the wind is going to settle. It'll be out of the north-northwest, averaging about 5 to 10, but you know how it is on the water. On land, it's 5 to 10. It's going to be a little bit higher on the water, but it's out of the north. We're not going to have this southwest fetch tomorrow.
Yeah, so that'll be and then one great thing about Guntersville is there's so many backwaters and everything. There's always a place to go to get out of the wind. Now, if it's coming dead out of the north and they're pulling water on the lake, then it gets a little bit dicey because you got the current going one way, you got the wind going the other way, and the water's got nowhere to go. It goes straight up, and you end up with 5-footers out there.
Well, that should not be the case
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Won't be too much wind.
No, we shouldn't. I don't know that it's dead calm at 5:30, but it won't be a big chop like we've got today.
The other thing that I've seen, at least